Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Oh my gosh, I've missed you guys for 3 days. It hasn't been long at all. Honestly, I'm getting these videos out back to back. Mexico really has me in my bag. I'm getting to it. I'm filming content. I'm being consistent. I'm glowing. And let's get right into this video. So today we're talking about the expenses of living in Mexico, specifically the first month when you move to Mexico, and it is my first month. So just take into consideration that a lot of these numbers are high because I had to get here. So next month, if you subscribe to my channel and you come back to see next month's video, you might notice a heavy decrease in the expenses. But if you're moving to Playa, this is definitely the video for you, so you can be very much realistic about how much it's going to cost to move and to set up your new life in Playa del Carmen, Mexico.
Every night fucks every day up. Every day patches the night up. Oh God, you should match it, it's that KO. No one let us till I fuck my 28th up. 1990, you my family had that Aqua. Oh,
Okay, so I'm just gonna get right into it. So I have made a document on numbers where I just broke down my monthly expenses, and I'm just going to show you guys that I have this chart here and then this graph just showing all of my expenses and my budget versus what I actually spent versus what I went over. And I'm just going to let you guys know that I definitely went into the red this month. I was far off from my budget.
Guys, so I wanted to show you how you can get this document. So you're gonna open numbers. Let me just exit out really quick. So you're gonna open numbers and then you're gonna go to new document. Numbers is free on your MacBook, and then you're gonna open up the personal budget, and it comes with this graph where you can enter your monthly budget and it'll change the graph and say you spent, I'm sorry, don't click it too many times. You can change the number. Say you went over 3,000, it'll show how much you went over and how much your budget was, and then yeah.
So we're gonna start with the base, which is our big bills. We're gonna start with rent and bills. So the rent was $1,289.67. My deposit for my apartment was $650 US. My water bill came out at the end of this month, but I counted it for last month because it's the water from last month, and it was still within that 30 days, and it was $15 for my water bill, and then my internet bill was $41, and I had uninterrupted streaming. I was able to upload my YouTube videos just fine. I didn't have any issues that I was seeing other people talk about, their internet running out. I got Total Play. It came with the apartment, so I personally haven't had any issues as far as the Wi-Fi. So already with just rent and bills, we're at $1,995. And a reminder that that amount will not have the deposit next month. So we're looking at a decrease at about $650, but it will have the electric bill, which the electric bill at Playa del Carmen only comes out every 2 months. It was the same thing in Los Angeles. It comes out every other month. So I don't know what my first electric bill will be. So next month I can update you guys on how much it costs to have electric in a 1-bedroom apartment in Playa del Carmen. So we're already in $2,000. Let's move on to groceries. So groceries, I went to the grocery store about 8 times. In my last video, I was telling you guys I probably go about every 5 days, and that math sounds about right. Technically, when my mom was here, I did go an extra 2 times. So I go about every 5 days. Every 5 days would be about 6 times in those 30 days, which it was 8 because my mom was here and I had to cook food that my mom eats. I want to keep in mind too with these groceries that I I had to buy a lot of household items. That's another reason that I had to take more trips. I had to go when I needed a broom. I had to go when I needed a mop. I had to go when I needed Fabuloso. Like, I had to go and get these things because I started to realize, like, oh, you're really starting over. You're gonna need all of these things. So those costs also won't be in my groceries next month, but they definitely were in my groceries this month, just that starting off. So my groceries were $505. They averaged about $50 every time I went. The first time I went, it was $145, $21, $68, $40, $45, $13, $40, and $129. This last time I found a bigger grocery store, which is called Mega. And when I went to Mega, I was like, oh my God, this is where all the groceries are, because I was going to, I go to the Shadrew, I don't know. Say Drew, I don't know where I go, but I go there. But I still like to go there for my fresh bread and fruits and veggie, but Mega has the better deals on like your everyday stuff, and they just have way more than you're gonna find at your Shadrew or whatever. I'm just gonna put the word up on the screen. Okay, so moving on, and I want to talk about this section next because it was a big chunk of the bill as well. So travel cost me about $920 US. So my bags, for 4 bags, and I snuck my carry-on on, so imagine if I would have had to pay for it. But for 4 check bags, it was $565. My flight was $280, and then I had a private driver for $75. So the total of that was basically $1,000, and that's $920. And right now, we're already, just from rent, groceries, and travel, we're already at $3,420 just off our big ones, our rent, our groceries, and our travel. So let's get into some of the other miscellaneous bills that really start to make the total kind of add up. So food, this would be everything outside of my groceries. Uber Eats, which I use Rappi out here, or I don't even like Rappi. I use Rappi here. Or you can use DD Foods, which DD pissed me off, so we're just gonna be Rappi. I racked up, and I went out to eat twice. So one of the times I went out to eat, which was the last video I told you guys, highway robbery, it was $42.39 for a quesadilla, beans, a mango juice, and a water. That's robbery. That's me being a tourist and people taking advantage of that, because that is not the price for a fucking quesadilla. You're not gonna convince me that's the price. And then one other time I went out and got the same thing, a quesadilla, and it was $32, which again is highway fucking robbery. So a total of everything that I spent out to eat, and mind you, my mom came, so that's another reason why I ordered food. Also 7-Eleven, so me going to pick up water, picking up snacks. The total of that was $208.95. So I'm just gonna add that, $208, and now we're at $3,628. So let's move on to my phone. So last month, and again, some of these costs will not be as bad next month. So my phone bill was $100, but I lost my phone in the water in my Tula vlog. My phone got wet, and it just, for some reason, decided not to be waterproof, and I got water damage. So I had to get paid $53 to see what was wrong with my phone, even though I already knew it was water damage. And then I had to pay $99 to get a new phone with insurance, because I was not about to pay $200 just to get a new screen. That just did not make any sense to me. So I was like, I'm not doing it. So that is $253.78, which I only should have spent $100 in that category. But unfortunately, this is just like some of the emergency costs that you could have if you have, an issue. So let's add 253, and now we're at 3,881, and we still got 5 more categories. Okay, so the pet flight was $200. When I brought him out here, I decided to have his neuter surgery. I hadn't had it in America because it cost about $700 in Los Angeles, and for me, that's just for an animal, $700. I don't got it like that, so Leo was gonna be peeing on clothes until Leo wasn't peeing on clothes no more, unfortunately. So his neuter surgery was 400 pesos, which is about $23.57, which is really, really, really good, and what it should cost to snip off some balls. His meds were 100 pesos, which is $5.89, so that brought that total to about $30 for the full surgery with the meds, which is $670 less than it would have been in America. Also, I got my cat a cat scratcher. Also want to make note that my cat's food and litter is a part of my groceries because I get it at the grocery store. So my groceries account for household items and anything that I would buy at the grocery store, brooms, mops. It's not just straight food, it's anything you would get at the grocery store. Okay, back to the pets. So a cat scratcher, because everything is imported here, it costs so much unnecessary money. The cat scratcher was $17.14. I'm talking about a $3 cat scratcher, $17. So I paid $17 for that. Bringing the total for pet, which we will not have any more pet expenses probably for the month. We probably have like a $50 budget for pet. But bringing that total to $246.60. So let's add 246. That's already $4,127 that's been spent. And we are not done. Okay. So now we're adding the American bills, the Amazons, the Apple, the random charges, my credit score, Identity IQ, TubeBuddy for YouTube, my modem back home that I need to cancel, all the stuff that I forgot to cancel before I came. You guys, cancel everything. I can't even cancel Peacock because it won't let me log in if I'm not in America. So I'm gonna need someone to log in my Peacock and cancel it for me because I can't cancel it. So anyway, the total for all of the Amazon and Apple, as I call them AA bills, was $135. Make sure you cancel all of your American stuff. The only thing I can have out here is HBO, Netflix, and Tubi. Cancel everything else, or get a VPN and keep paying it off. So that's $135. So for fun, I did the cenote tour, deposit and remaining. So together it was about $50, $60 to go to the cenote, which is robbery because again, it only costs like $7. But this is with the travel and all of that, which again, still robbery. You kind of just get robbed when you don't know better. Cenote shoes and stuff that I should have bought before I went there, that stuff cost me $37. The cabana that I had and the drink total was about $25, bringing my fund total to $117.18. So let's add that. Now we're at $4,379. We are not done. Okay, so miscellaneous. I got a Go Gadget for my tripod, and I had to pay for my change of address, which was just $1.10. So miscellaneous, I spent $15.72. So let's add $15, and that's $4,394. And I want to talk about this because I feel like this is the charge that doesn't get talked about. So one of my big chunks of, and it's not a big chunk actually, it's a really small chunk, but one of the fees that you really don't think about is international fees. So I have quite a few international fees. That's my longest list. It's just international fees because it just goes on and on and on and on. I spent about $140 on international fees. Now, mind you, I count this as ATM fees and international fees from swiping my card. I lost $100 at the ATM because I accepted the conversion. And you do not accept it. I told you guys about this in my last video. If you go to the ATM and you put your card in and it says to accept the rate, the daily rate or whatever, press no. Even though you press yes in America, you press no in Mexico because they will charge you 14% of whatever you're getting out. I was getting out over $1,000 and I got charged $115 just to use the ATM. $100 that did nothing. It didn't go towards anything. It just was a fee that was lost. That's $100 that I cannot get back. It's a lot of money out here. So that was $100 of the dollars, and then $40 was the fees for just swiping my card. So $1, 50 cents, 41 cents, 21 cents, $1, 25 cents, 97 cents, $1, 45 cents, 8 cents, 11 cents. Like it goes small charges, but those charges do add up. It was only $40 without that $100 that I lost to the ATM. But you do want to keep this in mind. If you're budgeting and you're budgeting tight, make sure you have room for these other charges. And make sure when you're moving that you think about all the stuff that you're going to need. You can't fly a broom. You can't fly your dustpan. You have to have that stuff over here. And if you order from Amazon, you're going to have to pay import fees. So you just want to just go and buy it out the store. So all of that stuff's going to cost you in the beginning, and it might not be as expensive the next month.
I wanted to show you guys this graph and how I got these parts, these charts. So I put all of my entries from my bank statements into these charts, and I just did them manually. I'm pretty sure I could have downloaded a file, but I just went in and just typed it all out because I just wanted to be sure. And yeah, so this is just a chart of everything I spent every time I bought groceries, every international fee I was charged. Please excuse Leo in the background. So to make one of these, I'm going to go file new, and I'm going to select shared expenses. And this is the table that I copied. So I just took my cursor and I highlighted it and I copied it and I put it into this monthly budget chart. And all I did was I pasted it, and then I took away this column that was expense per person. I took away the column that was paid by Leo please, and then I was left with the expense, the date, and the amount. And then I was able to type in whatever that I bought in this category, the date, and then the amount. And then from this chart, it added up all of my expenses, and then I was able to put those expenses into this graph and understand what I bought. So guys, you definitely want to take advantage of having numbers on your computer with Apple. It's much better than Excel, but if you don't have a MacBook, then Excel is the way to go. And Leo says hi.
So total with everything that I spent $4,539, which was $784 over my budget, which isn't true. It's just the budget that I set aside. So $2,000 for rent, $400 for groceries, $100 for phone, $200 for food, $100 for pet, $400 for travel, extra, in which I won't travel every month, so that already takes off a chunk. Extra bills $100, miscellaneous $100, international fees $100, and fun $250. If I was to go off of a budget like that, then I would be spending $3,755 every month. Obviously, a lot of people live a more reserved Mexico life where they spend a smaller amount, but I don't have the pleasure. Now, rent, house bills, and all of that stuff will not be $2,000 also. So let me look at my monthly expenses blank. So my actual budget is $2,555. I'm sorry, that was my budget for last month moving here. So rent and house bills, the budget is $1,500. Groceries $400, phone $100, food $150, pet $50, travel $50. So that would be like my taxes and stuff. Extra bills $100, miscellaneous 50, international fees 50, and fund 100. If I was living that kind of life, I would spend about $2,555 if I was on that very tight budget. If I was on a big budget, I would space out about $4,000. That's if I wanted to take a flight. If I wanted to travel, that's about $500 for groceries, a bigger budget. So the more money that I make, I might have like a bigger budget. But for right now, I'm gonna try to stick to the $2,555 budget, and I'll let you guys know how I make that next month. So this has been a video about my expenses. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Again, I know that these numbers are outrageous. I know that they're big, but it's because I moved here and I really did not think about the fact that this was gonna cost me so much to move. And I also don't live that life where I just kind of squeeze to make stuff happen. If I have the money, I'm gonna spend it. I'm gonna make it back. I always make my money back. I'm gonna start taking clients soon, so I will be able to spend what I need to spend, and I'll be able to make what I need to make to survive. To keep in mind, something to compare is that I did pay $4,000 rent in Los Angeles. So to pay $4,000 rent in Los Angeles and my total for everything, phone, food, groceries, travel, flight, everything being $4,000, $539, that is pretty good. I'm only in the hole $800 from my budget for this month with traveling, which is a lot. Don't get me wrong, it's a big hole. But Mexico isn't as cheap as people make it seem, and I just wanted to kind of make a video about like the lifestyle I live. I just live in a decent one bed, one bath. I don't spend a lot of money on fun. I don't spend a lot of money on, I mean, people probably spend less on groceries, but I had to spend to get the stuff that I needed. But my camera's about to overheat. I don't know why, so I'm just gonna stop recording. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.